This is the Old Musician's Blog 91. Sometimes before a gig comes up, sometimes it can be as much as a few days, but sometime during the course of when the gig's coming up, sometimes there's a sense of apprehension, almost like impending doom that comes over me. I don't know if that ever happens to everybody, but maybe it's a form of stage fright or hoping that things will go well, or sometimes it relates to the circumstances that you might be playing in, and you never can tell how those are going to come out, which is one of the things that makes gigging interesting to begin with. Is the sense of uncertainty that comes along with going into an unknown situation. Of course, when you have a regular gig, it becomes kind of known, especially with the regular people, what it is that might happen. There's always the possibility of the unexpected, but a lot of that's all been worked out. And then on the other hand, when it's a one-off kind of deal, then you don't know what's going to happen. Like yesterday at the garden party, that turned out to be a very nice party that our guitar player with the Stardust, Tim, put together. Yesterday, there's a rabbit over there. The day before yesterday, rather, it rained like anything. And while it was raining like that, you were thinking, oh, well, I don't know about this, if that garden party's going to come off, and then the day of it comes, and it's kind of cold and not too pleasant feeling, and you're wondering, is this going to be one of those weird things like one of my first gigs with the Nugents back in the 80s, which was a band that played all original songs, and our first ever gig was one that's fondly referred to as the Mud Hole, in which there was a dark and rainy night with a bonfire and equipment getting wet in the rain, and everyone trying to make the decision to go on and play or to leave, but without the experience to make it really count. And everything comes back covered in mud, including the musicians, of course. But fortunately, Tim's party was really nice, and I got there and it was like, wow, okay, this is okay. So I texted Lucy and I said, it's okay, and anyway, she was going to drive over with Kay, so they wouldn't have to stay the whole time, if they didn't want to or whatever, but when I got there, there was Clem and Larry, and Peter was back from back east, and Scotty and Paul, and Joe showed up, and it was like the whole gang. It was all musicians, of course. There was and Casey was there, and that was good because, a week from yesterday, we'll have a gig where I'm accompanying her on the piano. So it was, everybody got to play, everybody got to sing. There was no judgment. Even Merrill was there. So, and he sang a tune. He sang that Night and Day. He likes to sing that one. He's got a really good voice too. He tried to do a duet with Joe, but that was a little bit funny, but in a good way. And Casey sang a few songs, and and I got to play the piano the whole time, and it was all really quite good. Though I can tell that Clem's failing a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, because he's really a good bass player, but he's getting harder for him to keep up, and just to make the changes and hear the rhythms, and his hearing's going too. So I don't know. I don't know how much longer he'll be with us. It'll be interesting, if he bows out, to see who shows up, because right now there's nobody really on the scene to take his place. But maybe Bob Rollins might want to do it. He's not a bad bass player, and could do that kind of thing. Anyway, so the apprehension was all ill-founded, and a good time was had by all, and that's the thing, is that you never know how it's going to unfold until you're actually there in the situation, experiencing it for what it is in the moment.